Are we good?
So it's been long waiting, but welcome to the
That's right.
Consistently Rolling Show. I am your girl, Consistent.
Hey, this is me and Lil. Don't like all the humans. You know how it is.
So before we get started, we have to wish Enlil a happy solar return.
Oh, oh, come on. This is just it. My age is just the age of this vessel. I'm a lot old. I'm about the same age as the universe. We all know that.
Oh,
I don't
happy return. Happy
yeah, well, yeah,
return.
happy return. There you go. Took me 40 days to get back where I got to get to, but I'm here. You know,
Okay.
I landed in
So
1969.
1959.
Yep.
That's a good year. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a lot to indulge in. Today's topic today is in the beginning. And if you
Oh,
saw the message, it said in the beginning was the word and the word was God. So before we get into that, we got a couple of updates that we got to talk about. So I don't know how many of you have heard, but this will be the last year of daylight saving time. How do you feel about that?
oh, you actually listen to me. I call a major capital BS because we have formed our life, your parents, your grandparents, great grandparents, on the solstice, the tilting and the leaning away. Because Earth supposedly orbiting the sun, but it's not a perfect circle. It's an elliptical circle. So in order to do that, to say that we got to get rid of daylight saving time, we got to get rid of Earth's orbits. We have to get rid of the Earth tilt, where it leans away from the sun to give us our winters, lean towards the sun to give us our summers. It's 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 uh it's just okay. We'll boil it to this. It's another man-made construct of BS that our children's children is going to have to live with. We ain't gonna have to live with it. We're at the beginning stages of what they're going to have to live through, like technology, cell phones, tablets. Back in my day, it was hardwired phones. And then as I was going to high school, it was pagers and beepers, and now all of a sudden here we are. We having broadcasts. I'm talking to you in China, just as clear as day. So it's just another setup for our children's children to go through. Then it's not going to affect them at all. It's going to affect us because we see the transition that human. We also know that time is irrelevant, right? Like, no, time in a dimension can be 7 minutes, but here in this dimension, it can be 100 years. So time is irrelevant, according to Einstein and Stephen Hawking's equations. So all of that's irrelevant. It basically doesn't exist, which NASA also proved to us. Once we leave this Earth, you go to higher altitude Earth orbit, which is only 200 miles. And don't get it wrong, 200 miles off this planet is not space. It's just a higher altitude in the Earth's atmosphere. They're actually the stratosphere or the hemisphere. I forgot the pronunciation, but it's still Earth. But even there, the aging process for humans slowed down by a fraction of a second, but it does slow down. Not proven by two twin astronauts who flew in space back in 72 and 73. One went to space, the other one stayed here. Identical twins. When one came back from space after a year, he came back. They were no longer identical twins. He was now younger than his brother that stayed on the Earth. His brother kept aging, but he didn't. But that was only by a fraction of a second. That was according to their DNA codes. So them getting ready to delay savings time, you might as well just change the calendar. Hey, throw another hour on the clock. 13 hours a day. But
Well,
it will
since you
fit.
lead to that, since you lead to that, you
Okay.
know,
Uh-huh.
I feel like time does doesn't matter, period.
Uh-huh.
But we do have other calendars and other years in other countries that don't coexist with ours.
Yes, yes. What is it? Nigeria that has 2014? Was it Nigeria?
Yep,
One of
that's
the
2014.
yeah, Nigeria. That calendar it is now in Nigeria 2014 in Nigeria. So
Wow.
yeah, it's it's all made up to understand our place in this dimension. You and I and everybody on this planet are going or experiencing this experience of life. And depending on where we are as a, a whole, there are billions of people. That's what 4.5 billion people in the United States. We have to get some type of hold of that. So we have to make up time. It's daytime in California, nighttime on the over here. We have to adjust that according to our sun. And that's why I still can't grasp how they're gonna get rid of daylight saving time if the cycle of the sun isn't changing.
Fun fact. Fun fact. Just a fun fact because you
Uh-huh.
talk about the sun. So, did you know that in the summer, our sun is further away from Earth, and in the winter, it is closer to Earth? Why
How
is that?
how is that? So I
That's
always
what
thought when
I
the sun gets hot, the earth already sits on its axis and is spinning around like this, right? And then during that spin, we lean, if the sun's here, we lean towards that sun. That's summertime. This is what gives us our 4 seasons. But they're saying when we lean towards it here, it's cold. So the theory of the sun isn't actually hot. The sun is actually cold is true, or according to theorists. Because I always said the sun is not on fire. The sun is like a nuclear reaction. It's trying to collapse in on itself, and sometimes it's trying to explode. Okay, so I saw on TikTok they said if the sun's hot and it goes through space, which is cold, negative Kelvin degrees, and hits us and it's hot. Why is that? Because the light particles isn't hitting nothing. The particle is not vibrating as it's going through the coldness of space. Once it hits our atmosphere, keep in mind that these particles are traveling at the speed of light, okay, which is the fastest thing known in the universe. As it comes to our atmosphere, it starts to warm up in our atmosphere, and its particles starts to vibrate. When the particles vibrate, they get hot. When they get hot, we feel the heat. This is why when you're going down the road, down the highway, you see the heat radiation. The pores, going like really, the what's wrong? As the particles going through the earth, you see the heat radiating from the ground. And this is what we see as a mirage and everything. So there's two theories here: either the sun's hot or cold. I always lean toward that the sun was cold, but it's the particles that's heating us up once it hits something. Another TikToker said if space is completely dark, why is all of space light up, right? Because the particles isn't hitting anything. There's a lot of space between us and the sun. The particles flying through cold space, they're not vibrating, they're cold, they're not vibrating. How do we get to see these particles here on Earth in Geneva in a particle collider? We freeze them. We use liquid nitrogen, and we can see them moving. This is how we can see them. We slow their vibration down. Once their vibration starts, we got radiation, you got gamma ray, you got X-ray, you got all this stuff coming out, and you got heat coming out of that. So we have to slow down the particle to see them. It's the same effect as them coming from the sun to the earth. That's how, according to basic science, we get our 4 seasons, and this is why also that is dark in space. Although we got suns that are huge, that so big you can't even fathom in your mind, but yet the light barely reaches us, and so does the heat. You can further away because the further away the particle go from the sun, the less they vibrate because there's nothing there. They're not hitting anything. They're just dormant. Then once they hit a rock, a planet, me, you, they excite, they get warm, poof, right on through. So that's how that works. That's kind of one-on-one physics.
So what would you like to delve into before we get into the main ingredients of it?
Huh?
What would you like to delve into?
Dive into. So we already basically got a whole. So what else we do? You say in the beginning. When was that?
You want to stop there?
Yeah. When was the beginning?
Now that is the question. Okay.
Okay.
Because we have I want to say, according to how I am researched, we didn't had about 3, 4 beginnings.
Okay, so with
That
that being
is
said,
uh-huh.
okay, with that being said, so technically we had more beginnings, 3 or 4 beginnings. That means the circle of life, which is the figure eight, has no beginning or no end. So there is no beginning, there is no end. It's just a constant, an infinite constant. So in the beginning of our part of the story in this figure eight, or there was a point where there was nothing, then it began. It's like, to me, there was no beginning.
How wheels
There's,
are turning, right? Because I had a theory on this. So
you know what,
it's not really a theory. So the question is then is this: where does our beginning begin?
when we
That is
exist, the minute we existed, when we came from what we do not remember,
when was
huh?
when was that?
When was that? 200,000 years ago, depending on when human first walked the planet. When conscious came aware of itself in this dimension. That's where the beginning begins. See, if you want to dig into it, you said in the beginning there was the word was God, right? Okay. Not saying there's not a God, and I'm also saying that there was no physical words. I can't imagine God having a beard with a mouth, lungs, vocal cords, saying, begin. God. I could say there was a frequency. Maybe the frequency to us was determined as God, like the codes written in every human DNA on the planet. Every single human on this planet DNA, if we there's a number associated with the letters in your DNA, and those letters come out with sentence, and then the first sentence of those letters is that um I
Eternal
am
God.
God and the internal.
Eternal.
Internal. I am the
God
eternal God.
eternal.
I am
It,
the internal
it just says God eternal.
God eternal. Right. So that we had to break that down off of our science and DNA. So I believe in the beginning, which there were no beginning because we had the circle of life, the constant forever, and there was a frequency.
Different equation that they came up with, and that's how the words came into play. Because if
Yeah,
you want
yeah.
to, so you want to think about it, if mathematics is the eternal or the
Universal.
universal language, then they had to go off equations in order to even get that sentence or to get
Yeah,
that
but
phrase.
the equations that we these equation math, we had to take the universe math and convert it to the math we know today. It's just back in the 60s when Einstein, the 50s when Einstein came up with the calculus. He invented that. And other mathematicians invented math that we know today. Humans invented, well, I'm not gonna say they invented, it's always been around. They just translated it to what we know today and still use today. Look at our preschoolers today coming home with these math books. I'm like, what is this? What is it? I never heard of this mess. So yeah, I believe it was a frequency because Nikola Tesla, he was a scientist, very well into energy, frequencies, and vibration, which I base my research on. Energy, frequency, and vibration. And he also stated in his papers that if you understand those three keys, you call it the three keys to the universe, and right, because everything's vibrating, there's frequencies and there's energy. You can also hear the voice of God, which is still a certain type of frequency, because he also invented the ham radio. So you listen to some ham frequency as well. So when you got those three keys and you apply that into your work with math, you can get a lot more answers and understanding what's going on in front of us. So the beginning. When was the beginning? I believe there never was a beginning. We phase in and we phase out. We transform in, transform out. We manifest in, we manifest out.
So let's peel this onion.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Okay.
The earth was without form and void. So that means that something was here before us, right? And it was destroyed. Or it was created in the way of evolution. The Big Bang, this collided, that collided, this happened, that happened, and here birth Earth. Okay. Now we
Mhm.
have now we have vegetation, and we have two people in the garden,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
Are we here? Let us make man in our image. Who was those people who said that?
Right. Who was our?
God.
What
Who
God?
was that? Was that Inky? Was that Jesus? Who
You-
was that?
Yeah. Who was our image? And also, when He created and the heavens and the earth, we all know that the heavens are space. When we go outside and look at the heavens, our ancestors, through all humankind, we always allocate that this is the heavens. Anything comes from the
Right.
sky
It's
comes from the heavens. Okay. Um, and then He created the earth and void and darkness and void, right? So the word void means
what
empty.
that reminds me of.
Hmm.
Okay. The birth of a child, they come through darkness.
Yeah. Okay.
They come through a womb that is dark,
Yes. Yes.
full of void.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They're birthed. I'm trying to say
Right.
because we know, like our brains, the fetuses, as we all was in that position one time in our lives, is encased in total darkness. There's no light until we go down the birthing canal, and
And
that's
you
the
know that's did you know or I'm telling you I've been listening to some things. You know that's not even the way that we're supposed to be birthed. They do that on purpose for us as we pass through the birth canal and we see the light. That is a transformation of forgetfulness, like to forget, to wash away everything you remember,
uh-huh. Really.
and and the spanking of the behind is to traumatize that child.
Or the plucking of the feet, because they do that too. They pluck the feet. Is that something? And after plucking the feet, they put a sock on it, right? Something with the sole on the bottom of it. So there'll be no connection to the earth. And they cut the biblical cord a lot earlier than they're supposed to, because they're supposed to let it drain out till the cord turns white, get all the energy, and they cut that. And then they have you sign a paper saying whether you're gonna keep this a placenta or not, and they run out the room with it. What do you do with it? First, I think
Oh,
they
they
put
give
it
it to everybody else to
and
use
eat it.
it.
Huh?
They give it to everybody else to use it, so
Yeah.
they can get the nutrients and
Yeah. That's what I
everything.
mean. They take it to the next room, pop in the microwave for a minute and a half.
So that tree of life can be eaten for someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You got the money, you can buy anything in this dimension,
What I'm
including
saying.
including life. You can buy life. Yep. You can buy anything. You can buy life here. Hey, give another 200 years. No, I'm stretching it. Give another 50 years. We be buying air. We're gonna be buying air. Hold on a minute. So anyway, I got my new ship in the air in here.
Now,
You
we buy air now.
know, basically, yeah. Yeah, we got all little gas coming, gas truck. They're selling air to patients and everything. Just imagine it's going to be for all of us one day. Instead of AC units, it's going to be oxygen tanks in your AC unit and heating unit out there, all in one. They can purify your house and put oxygen in your house. They're going to sell air. How long have we been buying water? Something that's
And
70% of the earth is covered
that's
in.
crazy.
And we buying water. How many years have we been buying water? You know, ice. $2 for a bag of ice. That's is unreal. But yet our children, this is our children, our children's children. This is what they're going to be facing in the future. And I'm pretty sure religion and everything else that we talk about all the time will be just about gone by the time it gets to them.
Oh
Just
yeah,
about.
definitely for
They
sure.
already attacked the churches. They already
Definitely.
you rarely see the picture of Jesus anyway
Yeah.
anymore.
The way that um I'm how can I put it? The way that we are revolving, because it's not an evolving to me. This is just something that is coming back anew. We're going back, well, a lot of us are going back to our roots. So religion is definitely done away with.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So what do
That's
I
why
tell?
the question of in the beginning, when I say in the beginning, I'm not talking about the story that the
Mhm.
Bible told me. We got texts that are surpassing from the Bible. So like what was the beginning? Were we here in the beginning when these Anunnakis were here? Or were we created by recreated by what is the beginning?
Right. And that was in those Inky's big concern, not concern, but it worried him. It worried him something horrible because when he created the first male, he noticed that the male came with the consciousness. He thought they were just going to be create these humans, and they just get up and do it with no thoughts, just like mindless people. But they had a conscious feelings, emotions. It
That
displayed things
question,
that mhm. Huh?
that is the question that we ask when we look at the Bible and say, well, if God knew that the devil was going to do blah 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 blah, why would
Right.
He create it? I wouldn't even created it. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
if He did,
Exactly. That's what it is. The Bible with from the ancient text and the modern day King James Bible correlates with the ancient text of the Anunnakis. It correlates with
somewhat,
it's huh?
somewhat.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like they took a script and just changed the characters and altered the story. You know, and if you're not knowledgeable, you won't catch it.
It's more. It's not just that story.
Yeah, it's a whole lot more to it. But I come to this. I watched two generations. My grandmom and my mother. I watched two generations sit with their Bibles, go to church every Sunday and Wednesdays and everything like that, believing and praying in something that today is like, I don't know. It wasn't right. It just didn't fit with me. And I went to church every Sunday
Well,
and
for
went,
that time, you gotta think about it. For that time, the belief was all that was needed. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
that's the key, the belief. And that's our
The
strength.
belief. Hmm.
That's
The
our strength.
belief.
Our strength is to believe. If we believe in something, I believe tomorrow I'm gonna get up and have a great day. That is my belief. I'm going to do this. I'll get tomorrow and have a perfect day. I do because I put myself into it. So, what do you think religion is or was created for? Is it to get back to our
Are you
Father?
asking me this question
Yeah. Is it to get back to our Father, or is religion was created for a control of his people? I know it's
now?
hard for you to answer that now because if I'd asked you that 10 years ago, I know what you'd have said.
What
Okay?
I would have Lil?
Like, I'm getting right for my Father, my God.
Right.
Yeah, you said that. But
Okay.
now,
So, but now, religion to me is a couple of things.
mhm,
It was for us to. It's like how the world is now. They
yes.
absolutely got to tell you the truth.
Hmm.
How they tell you the truth,
Right,
you have to figure that out.
right. Yes.
But it's
Yeah.
definitely for you to know certain things. It is for morality and whatever your morality is.
Okay.
It has history. It may not be all the way through history, but
Right.
it has history in it. It is mystical for our
Hmm.
imagination.
Right.
Um, and it does have a sense of control, which is enforced with fear.
Yes. And it's not all evil either. There are people
No,
out here who took religion and did wonders with it. It did save lives. It did bring up people, suicidal people. When you put religion, it uplifted them, and they took their experience as being suicidal and helped others suicidal. So religion has its role in good as well. I'm not saying religion is all bad. We should not do it. It's definitely something that people do need it out here to give them some type of security, and something to look forward to at the most lowest times. In a lot of instances, that's what we say is, oh God.
It's like this. Those
Hmm.
the church, it's the church. Like I said, I think I said once before, it's kind of like a hospital. It's like those spirits that get together, like you
Yes.
said, the energy, the frequency, the vibration. You
Hmm.
can feel that. And
Yes.
while people will call it the Holy Spirit is moving because two or three are gathered, that
Right.
frequency is absolutely high.
Yes.
And you can be absolutely uplifted, and it can help you stay on that high.
Yeah.
And
And
people
my
look at
problem with that, here's my problem with that, my personal problem. We all come together as a congregation, group of people, and we are spiritually lifting each other up. We give the credit to a being that we know nothing. We get nothing to ourselves.
Guess
And
what?
I
Guess
told us
what?
look within.
Guess what? Guess what Jesus said?
But
Forgive them, for they know not what they do.
that's right. That's right. That is true. That is true. Yeah. And that's what gets me. I'm like, yeah, give yourself credit. You know, I do pray. I do speak to my God, the universe. God is a high. I don't know the exact name of God, but I do pray up. I do believe in um, things manifesting. Some of us call it miracles or the hand of God or the work of God, whatever. Things do happen. So there's some things happen in my life personally. And I'm like, how did that even happen? Did I give it to God or did I give it to myself? Who did I give that credit to? And everything.
It's absolutely God. You get what I'm saying? Get what I'm saying? That is absolutely God.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So it's more like the eternal God. Because God's with us anyway. God's never left us. We don't have to pray to the sky. We just look within and pray deeply, and things will happen. That's why meditation, astral projections, all this kind of stuff. When you close your eyes, your brain starts to work. It releases certain chemicals. Boom, there's our transformation to go where we want to go. For those who have no fear, some people trying to go um, into like a meditation, they get scared.
well, there's nothing wrong with fear as
Now,
long as you don't
it's a
fear
security
or
feature that your brain that was installed in your brain to keep you here. It keeps you here. You ever go? If you're a deep sleeper, but let's say your fear is water or spiders or falling, and you're a deep sleeper and you're sleeping, and let's say you had a cigarette and caught the bed on fire, and your hands burning, your bed's burning, your body's trying to wake you up. You're deep sleeping, you're heavy sleeper. So your brain will kick in and go, okay, I'm afraid of water. So they're going in your dreams, you all of a sudden you're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and you're drowning. What are you gonna do? You're gonna wake up.
God.
That's the biosecurity system. And this is why you ever had that sense of the dream where you sense like you're falling and then you slowly wake up? It's because something was going on around you that your body says, hey, you need to wake up. Whether you were asleep apnea, you have stopped breathing in your sleep, which is one of the major cases I hear of that is when you sleeping, that falling feeling or that feeling of drowning because you stop sleeping in your dream. And when you're sleeping, you stop breathing, and your body like trying to wake you up, but you wouldn't wake up and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting stuff we got out there. So yeah, in the beginning, I could say personally, my personal belief, in the beginning there was no beginning and there was no end. I asked my friend, he should be watching this tonight, maybe he will watch it. Before we were born, what were we? Were we consciousness? Were we aware there? Came here, forgot? Is it like what the conspiracy community says? It's like a matrix, What is his personal thoughts? And he said that we came from a state of nothingness. We were born only knowing life. Okay, you're right, because all I know is life. I know nothing about death, but I know it's coming. I don't know how it's going to come, but I know death is definitely coming. But beyond that, I know nothing. There's the spiritual. You go to heaven. You go to deep sleep. There's many things that's going on behind after death. We don't know. There's a lot of people who went past the threshold and came back and gave their experience, but the brain survives 7 minutes after the body's gone, clinically dead. When a doctor clinically says you're dead, you're dead, but the brain still has some type of brainwave where there's something going on. That could be your consciousness, So I asked him that. He said he believes that you come from absolutely nothing and we get this conscious once we are conceived. I said, so when we die and we live through this experience and all this knowledge, whether it's right or wrong, good or bad, everything I've learned here, what happens to that? Because I believe that's the only thing I can take with me. I can't take gold. I can't take my house, car, nothing. I can only take knowledge and wisdom. He says, no, I believe we'll go back to a state of nothingness. Said,
well,
then
it's right and no thing.
Yeah, but right. The side of me, my conscious side, my life side of me, this dimension saying that's horrible. Why am I here? You mean to tell me everything I do, all the good I do, all the goals and all the accomplishments I play is for nothing?
So thing about morality, that's something or stipulation that we put on ourselves here in this order in order to find some type of balance.
Yeah.
So I can say that I have done 20% good and been 80% bad. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So a state of no thingness, I don't know. Maybe I'll give you my little theory about it. Mm-hmm. I feel as if we go somewhere and we do gather information, trade it back and forth, put it somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we come back here again and do it again and again and again till there is absolutely nothing left to learn, feel, or do.
Okay.
And then we go back to no thing.
It's like the state of nothing. Let's say.
Or what the absolute stuff would be, which is God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not no. He's not. Oh, it's not no. You know, it's not nothing. It's no thing. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it's very, very, very interesting to me, and we gotta get over the part because we get into this type of stuff. There's a certain depression that comes over you, because you start to question your very own existence and your purpose, whatever that purpose is. And we all have a certain purpose when we're here. This could be you and I purpose to spread information, It is set in stone what particular purpose you have. Like you're here just for one thing. It can be multiple things.
Yeah. That is funny because purposes change here.
Right.
That's the whole point of we have the freedom of choice.
Yeah. And you can alter another human being's life. I watch a TikToker walk up to a stranger and hand them a letter and $50. And the letter stated that I don't know who you are and what you've been through, but I feel kind today to give you this money to do whatever you want to do with it. And the person, no matter how many people they do it to, man or woman, it hit them because at that point it changed their life. One woman took the money and walked over to the gas pump to another lady and handed her the note and the money, and then she walked away. It's like they handed it down, and it's like that connection where we're in a dimension where we can alter this dimension, we can alter each other. Almost 18 years ago, we met, totally two different lives. And then here we are today, taking our experiences and walking together. Still separate people, separate experiences, but we're doing it together and bringing it to one. And then people who are listening, whether they agree, disagree, or they look at it for a second and turn it off, whatever the case may be, it affects every single person. And it goes out. It goes out a very long way. And I just think that once we came into this world as a non-conscious or conscious being, whatever you want to call it. So I have to think in the end, there's going to be something. What it is, I don't know, because whoever went all the way there never came back yet and told us. You know,
Enoch ain't tell us nothing. No, he God.
nothing.
Elijah,
Enoch,
Moses,
no,
Jesus, all
no,
that.
Jesus, nothing. They didn't tell us anything. In fact, some of them, Jesus went to learn the religions, different stuff around the globe, and came back to teach. To teach. But I'm like, okay, Jesus, teach me where you came from. Give me that information. But
If you knew where he came from, then you would know where he was going. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
and
Kind
yeah,
of told you that. He
and
kind of told you that.
this,
Listen. Just get well. Just bear with me. Follow me really
we go.
quickly. He said, no. He said, they said,
Huh?
where you going? And he tells you, in my father's house are many mansions. If it was not so, I would have told you. You know what I'm saying? Where I go is to prepare a place for you. When I come back, which I just think that was just extra. You know what I'm saying? There
Yes,
you will be also. So, in a sense, if I am part of God and Jesus is a part of me, then he's absolutely right. Where he is, I am also.
yes, exactly.
So
I can agree.
when he went back, personally, I could say that the billions of stars in the sky is the
Yes,
many mansions, and I could just go back to Stardust.
right, right, exactly. Yeah, because yeah, I just read an article where NASA, because the Hubble will be out of commission pretty soon. This is why they got that new one up there, the James Webb telescope, which is according to what they're showing, it's pretty freaking nice. But Hubble pointed his lenses to a small dark spot. Like you look out in the night sky, because I have a telescope and everything. Look at the night sky. There's a part of space up there near the nebula side of space, I think it was, where it's just black. It's a spot like that big. It's all black. You can't see nothing around it. You see all the stars around it, and you would mistake like, oh, that must be like a black hole or something. There's nothing in that part. So Hubble pointed his telescope towards it, his lens towards it, for 3 months. 3 months. And the image they got back recently is probably no bigger than a 14 by 5 photo. And in that 14 by 5 photo, there was over 10 billion galaxies in that photo, in that dark spot. We see nothing in that dark spot from here. But if you go there, there are 10 billion more billions with a B, capital B that is, there. That's what we can see. There's a lot more we can't see. So it just imagine. So there's got to be something more to this. It's got to be. I remember in church, and you and I had the conversation where once we pass away, we don't go to heaven or hell. We go to a sleep. And when they when he returns and get all up, we all see him return at once, and he all would take us away to his kingdom, his heaven. And I remember asking you, my mom, and my grandma, what does this place look like? And the different stories. There's a road made of pearls, rivers running of diamond and gold, and all the it's beautiful. And we all get this place in this room, in this heaven. I'm guessing like a hotel room, a Motel 6, whatever, but it's top of the line shit that we get. And we spend that time there in heaven for eternally praising our Father, right? My thing is that
to you, just like the stars that burst on themselves and make the beat that they're making constantly over and over and over again.
Right. But that story scares me because I can't imagine. I guess it's the conscious human side of me of thinking about it, that if I go to a place and to spend eternally worshiping a being or energy or something I'm a part of, I can't imagine how it would feel, how I would feel. I can't imagine spending my life in my mother's and father's house after they raised me, thanking them for raising me for my entire life. That would be horrible.
Why would that be horrible? Because for you, you're a learner.
Yeah, and I want to explore the world. I want to go places. I want to meet new people. So to if in my mom's womb, I had to be a good fetus, a good baby in the womb, cause her no pain and do no evil. Then once I'm born into my father's and mother's kingdom, I will be with them for all eternity, which is how long I live as a human. I can't imagine it. Thanking them every day. Thank you, mommy and daddy, for bringing me this world. Thank you, mommy and daddy. Every day. I give you to you, mommy and daddy. I give my life to you, mommy and daddy. Every day for the next now 53 years, 60 years, 75 years.
Now, in a sense, when we show gratitude in every situation that's going on.
Yeah, there is my thanks for everything. But I kind of think that'd be a little different. You know, maybe we go back to a state of nothingness, came from nothingness. Maybe we won't, maybe there won't be you know, end of days. And God, I can't tell you how long I've been hearing that. I can't tell you many storms come through Baltimore City. My grandma running outside her Bible saying this is the end of days. He's coming back. It was just a thunderstorm. Just a thunderstorm.
Wow.
Where do we go with this? You know what I'm saying?
We definitely don't know what the end is. We got
Right.
a glimpse. You said, "What I am, you will be there." Also, we do know that much.
So
But
100%.
one thing we do know from what the Bible say. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. Wait a minute. Um, a day to God is a thousand day. One day to God is 1,000 years to us. Right.
Yes.
But we do know this for sure, right?
Mhm.
Jesus also said that the kingdom of God is not even visible. You
Right.
can't look at it and be like, "Oh, it's over there." He genuinely said it's totally within, right?
Yes.
So even when I don't know if this is totally in the Bible, but do know growing up in a sense they would say, "Here I stand at the door and knock.
Yes.
If you open the door, I will enter." And all, that also what that means is the Holy Spirit won't even seek you until you seek it. That's something that's within, because that
Right.
door is to be your heart.
Right.
So in the Bible, when we go back to what we was talking about, is absolutely right when I say it has some metaphoric stuff, it has
Mhm.
some historic stuff, it's some things that people legitimately knew. Where
Right.
we go, I don't know. The Lord's Connor says something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where we
Yeah.
came from, we don't know. We got plenty of stories to tell us.
Right. Right.
Plenty.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we actually to this week, some of us just
Yeah.
directly are inhabitants of this planet. Like we don't know.
Right. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. Um, I got a son on the way. Right, little boy on the way. He will be here on 9/4, but estimated arrivals 9/4, 2020, 2022. Right. I'm going to do a private interview with him on the show once he gets to a certain age. You know, I don't want him too old, but I want him just enough. I'm gonna do a private interview and ask him questions.
Let me think about this, right? That baby comes into the world, right? How
Mhm.
yeah, you can't hear me?
Yeah, you must be holding your mic. He was in and out for a
Oh,
second. Uh,
okay. So that baby come into the world Googling and guy, right? Trying
yeah.
to tell you exactly what it is that they may know, but we putting Bibles in their mouth,
Yes.
we
We're teaching.
rocking to
We're
sleep.
teaching. They're learning. The human brain's getting they learn because
But yeah, but we don't learn them.
exactly because to us just baby stuff, babbling. You know, I spoke with a friend of mine about this particular topic about babies communicate with each other. He made some good points. He says, you know, a baby's not gonna look up to another baby and go, hey, give me that wire right there, so I put it in my mouth. And to us it sounds like ga 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 ga. Like, yeah, right. The baby's not going. There's not going to be a dialogue where they talk to each other. But I'm living with a set of twins and a 2-year-old. Okay, the 2-year when those three are together, right, and they are, and y'all can probably hear in the background, when they communicate with each other, it's a totally different. I mean, I watched and observed them closely. They they was they would sit there and let out certain pitch and tone, and what we sound like giggling or laughing or screaming and crying. And the other one will look. I can quietly give one something like, here, take this, and she would, huh? And the other one would look and instantly come over like she knew. Maybe they taught each other that tone because they are human. They can teach each other what we can teach them, or they still understand the dialogue. But here's what got me: when the 2-year-old came in on that conversation, now she can say words like, "No, I'm hungry. Come here." She talk, but then when she talks to them, she talks to them like she's talking to them. Can I say the words?
Telling you the best example of what you trying to figure out. Baby Genius is the best movie to tell you that.
Right.
Didn't connect with me until we went on this journey. But Baby Genius,
Yeah.
definitely. Of course they talk to each other. My
Yeah.
twin nephews, my grandmother used to say she would put them in bed and they would be in 2 different beds, just going back and forth.
Same thing
We
with
didn't
them.
understand what they were saying, but they definitely understood what each other was saying.
What he's saying. There's like a certain dialogue that
What
they
if that was
do
if
it.
that is genuinely the language that we started off with?
With, know what I base it off of? The difference between frequency, because it's like listening to music. It's like listening to music. They take different frequencies and it becomes one song. They have a frequency. We all have it. We all spoke it because, like I said in the beginning, there was no literal word. There was there was a frequency with
Me,
the word that people just couldn't stop. Huh? Go ahead.
that's just like how you told me, or we were analyzing what could have been the word of God. Remember, in the beginning was
Right.
the
That's
word.
what was that
The
word?
word was
Right.
not, and you made a valid point when you said it could have just been because we do genuinely be like
Yep.
oh, because that's how we
Right.
connect to think about different things. So that
Right.
definitely could be that.
Right. I'm laughing at the twins. They sitting there with asking their mother for a cup. You just heard them. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, they are totally in sync with each other.
Yeah. So like, who knows what the beginning is? It's fascinating to hear all the stories of what our beginning here could have
Yeah.
been.
Yeah.
That's what I thought we were going to go into.
Right.
Anu, Anunnaki,
Yeah.
reptilian, and how they took over and all that good stuff. So it's good to know. But
Right.
then you get curious. Where did I come from? Where am I going?
Exactly.
Where
Now,
what I'm saying?
that's the point right there. When you say where do you come from, you talk about your soul or your avatar that you're in through generations in evolution. Because if we're talking about generation evolution, it points back to the Anunnaki. When it comes to your soul, even Enki didn't know. It's what bothered Enki. This is why when he built the Tower of Babel, and Enki helped them build the Tower of Babel. But when he saw what they were doing, it bothered him, and he destroyed it. And he said, "Man is too smart." Huh?
And Lil destroyed the Tower of Babel.
Yeah, I read one of this. They said it was Enki. Because and I'm like, and Lil didn't like the humans. He argued with his brother. He didn't want the humans to go to first. He's afraid that they'll build something that's taught to go to the heavens, and then it will destroy everything in the universe. Look at Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos right now. Look at them right now. That's all they talk about on TV is every day, every time. Go to Elon's Twitter page. That's all he's talking about. We're going to Mars. We're going on.
What?
And you know why? We originally was there. I believe we're originally from Mars. Because there are too many scientists that are looking at this planet and go, that gas that's bigger and deeper than the Grand Canyon and longer across Earth, that didn't look like it was done by nature. And it looked like something struck that planet and it just ripped its atmosphere away. Because if there was a solar mass ejection that ripped Mars's atmosphere away, why didn't it take ours? We're the third rock from the sun. We got, we're the third rock. And then we have Mars. It took Mars, it went over the Earth and around the Earth and took Mars's atmosphere? Or did something happen there by our ancestors? And because we dropping off nuclear bombs, it could do the same thing here.
That doesn't make sense of how we what was it that what was the word that he used? Mm-hmm. How we survived what, 5 or 6 extinctions?
Extinctions, yeah. Who wiped out the dinosaurs?
How do we know Mars exists? That's a good question.
How do we know Mars exists? You're right. You're absolutely right. We don't know. None of us has been on a rocket. But I can tell you, I have a 13x6 telescope, 13x6 telescope back there. And when I see a little red dot in the distance coming across the sky, and I zoom in on it, I see it doesn't look as clear as NASA giving us. Matter of fact, a lot of stuff that NASA shows us on the internet doesn't look like that through my telescope. Maybe I don't have it powerful enough, but it's blurry, it's red, and it's there. And I also see its moons. I can see Jupiter and Saturn's moons as well. So there's something we're looking at. I'm looking at personally when I look at my telescope. And I do see what we call planets. And now the stars that we see also as well doesn't look like what they show us on television and movies from Earth looking through a telescope. They look like orbs, flickering orbs in your telescope. So no, where's your mic? Nope. NASA strikes again.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. Come on now.
Wait a minute.
Come on, get
wait
the
a minute. Wait a minute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So then we go on to the thing of what I was talking about with Antarctica and the wall and how the planets could just continuously live on that way.
Listen,
man, I know.
Listen,
I know.
You got to think about something. Let's step left to a little teeny bit. Let's step to the left a little bit. Here we are as humans in different countries, right? Fight for everything. I mean, literally, we fight for everything that we know of, right? Including land. We killed people, children, and women for land. So you mean to tell me all those nations and all those countries back in the day, like 60-something, 1967, something like that, going to come together and write an Antarctic treaty and say that there will be no fighting, no war, no nothing in that land that's bigger than the United States? Come on. Nobody's fighting.
This is the reason why I feel, okay, wait a minute. Let me go to what Keela said, and then I'm gonna come back to what we're gonna come back to this in 1 second. So Keela says, okay, that sounds good, but right. We only know it to be Mars because someone told us it was Mars. Can we say the same for someone saying Jesus is real? We are in the last days due to the word and what's going on in the world today. So let me say this, Keela.
Wait.
We only know that Jesus is Jesus because somebody wrote about Jesus. We only know that we're in the last days because somebody wrote about the last days. Technically, we're going through the same cycle of the earth that always happens over and over again. I personally feel like these people were writing their history, which is our present or future now. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel.
I agree.
When it comes to Antarctica, and the reason why these people came together that I feel is for the same purpose of what you're saying. They would fight over more land. There's something plentiful there. Like I was researching some stuff where they said that they absolutely did. We got people who found more land past Antarctica, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out though. This is what they so-called the land of milk and honey that we all keep waiting for in the Bible to go to heaven to. It actually flows milk and honey.
Yeah, yeah, yep. And only one man lived it. Only one man went there. He came back. He was done.
No. It was more than one man. I'm going to send you the
Publicly.
information. But
Public.
listen, it was so it was more than one man. But let's just be real. Years and years and years ago, there was a map that showed these lands, and over the years, it just decreased and decreased and decreased. Like, ain't no way. No way. You can tell me that there is no land beyond whatever it is that you're trying to keep us from. And if that was the case, if it's nothing there, there would be no reason for you to say, no one can go beyond this.
Yeah. Have you read part of the treaty?
Some of it.
I read some of it too. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We can go to the part on what's allowed there, what's not allowed there. Like literally, you have to go there butt naked. Like butt naked, like no shoes.
Why is that though? And then the thing about it is you can only go so far. So remember last summer we was up there messing around on the internet, and we found some stuff in Antarctica that'll make people be like, "No way, y'all lying." You know what I'm saying? I had to show a couple people. Now there is no, you know what I'm saying? Now there is no evidence because we talk about it. You would love to find out about Antarctica? Oh, well, we'll do a segment about Antarctica. Not a problem.
Oh, yeah. We're going to dig deep on that one. That's very...
Not a problem.
Look up Admiral Richard Byrd and everything. That's very interesting on his terms. He was in the Navy. And
what about the boy and his father? I got to find that one.
I can't remember his name. I know what you're talking about.
I'll find it for you, Keela. But we'll do something about it for sure.
Definitely.
We'll talk about it.
Definitely. But yeah, it was something I was going to say. I forgot what it was. But yeah. But I like
the treaty.
Yeah, the treaty, the Antarctic Treaty. It's like it's amazing.
Do you think that in 20
something in our lifetime?
Yeah, you think that they're going to do that again?
Oh yeah, the treaty's up in
2040.
2040. The treaty's up in 2040. That's why the treaty's up in 2040. You think they're going to rewrite the treaty or something like that? I don't know. There are billions of people going to be sitting at the doorstep of the Antarctic with snowsuits on, waiting.
Right there, like.
I might be really, really, really old, but I'm in my wheelchair. I have my travel nurse with me.
The question is this, though, right?
Right.
So, where else did mammoths exist? Did they exist anywhere else?
The mammoth? Well, yeah. Alaska, Canada. They find different places where you probably find a mammoth in your backyard. You probably find one in your backyard.
The one that looked like the elephant.
Living, breathing mammoth today? Yeah, Richard Byrd said they're flourishing there in the Antarctic. There's land beyond the ice, he said. He said as he flew over the ice, it came to land. He saw what he believed looked like mammoth walking and flourishing. There were rivers, lakes, ponds, everything, and the temperature was about 76 degrees. That's what he said. But he was running out of fuel, so that's the first time he went. He came back. Then he went back again, and supposedly this is when the Nordics, the inner Earth beings, took him. As he was flying over the Arctic, he lost control of his planes. His gases went crazy. He realized that he was no longer flying his plane. And when he went towards the center of the Earth, he went down into a hole, and there was a beautiful land. It had its own sun, its own ecosystem in the Earth, where these beings talked to him and told him. Now I'm gonna break down what they basically told him. Tell those people upstairs to stop dropping those bombs, or we're gonna come there and do something about it. And what happened? We did a nuclear test. UFO went around it and blew it up. And everywhere there's something going on with nuclear bombs or explosions, there are UFO report sightings every single time. So, and I think the biggest bomb we have is the Tsar Bomba. That made the Earth ring twice, which proves that the Earth is hollow. Because it's full of liquid magma with an iron core, it wouldn't ring at all. Even with big pockets, it wouldn't ring. Not like a bell. The earth rung. It reverberated for 2 days. The moon, when they dropped the bomb on the moon, that reverberated too. Which makes
Allegedly. Sorry,
Yeah.
allegedly they did that. Allegedly.
I remember watching that on TV. I remember
Really?
watching. Yes, I remember that. That's why I'm very adamant about. They dropped the
So I
bomb on
keep
me.
telling people like all these years ago, we didn't have Wi-Fi where you could go around and just
Right.
do this.
It was
So
black and white color TV.
how were they showing you the moon landing, and how were they showing you that there was a bomb
Because
on
they
the
had
moon?
technology before they gave it to the public. They had this stuff already. I mean, I remember going to high school. There was no such thing as cell phone. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. No, none of that stuff existed. Then one day he came out with my stepdad had a bag phone, Motorola. The bag phones. He had that's first car phone. He had to plug it in the car and there's a bag. It was very expensive. And then it went to pagers. I remember the CD first came out. It was 8-track, then cassette players, then the CD. I was there when all that got phased into the public. We thought it was great. We got the portable CD players with the headphone sets. All right. Now I got
Not even realizing that the Terminator was showing you that was a bad thing to begin with.
Star Trek. I remember watching those Buck Rogers, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, all these space shows that show. Watch Space Odyssey. Watch the Space Odyssey. Watch that movie. The guy in that movie, this was made back in the 50s. The guy in the movie showed that he was it started with a Neanderthal, an ape was hanging out in the woods and everything with these other Neanderthals, and they was fighting over a piece of meat. And one Neanderthal picked up a bone and cracked the other one in the head and killed it. Right? The Neanderthal looked at the bone, its first weapon, and raised up to the sky. Then the movie fades away from that onto the space station. Now this is back in the 50s. And then in this movie, it was made in the 50s. It was special. It was such. We didn't launch first rocket until 1969. Okay, there were no satellites or nothing up there yet. Sputnik was launched in 19.
At least that's what they tell us. That's what they tell us. Okay.
That's my point. My point. But in the movie, when they pan up to the space station, the man on the space station was talking to his wife down on Earth through a tablet that I'm talking on right now. How did they know about tablets then? And I hear today I'm sitting there talking on one. So to tell me that they didn't, to tell me that during the time of Jesus and Moses that they didn't have tablets, I think otherwise. You mean to tell me people
it is said that, and now
they lived their whole life.
I'm going back to the Bible.
Right.
It is said that the end times, or in the end, it will be just as bad because it was worse in Noah's day.
Right. So in retrospect, there was technology back then. This would explain the major structures around the world that we can't even do today with the technology and the machines we have today. Let us try to build the Pyramid of Giza precisely, mathematically. Let's go to Easter Island or Pumba and try to look at those walls and slide a piece of paper there. We can't do it today. These houses, they fall apart. Look at World Trade Center. Fall apart like puzzle pieces.
Oh, I got a good question.
What's that?
That's my question for you today. I asked somebody else, so this is for everybody listening. I really want y'all to come back and bring me this answer.
Okay.
Everywhere all over the earth, our history is actually a mystery. So our mystery has been destroyed.
Okay.
Right. The only thing that stands is Egypt, and it's a part of all of history. Why is that the only thing that stands? Because
some of the stuff that we know around the world, either A, is not spoken of, B, there was a war there, i.e. Iraq and all, and they destroyed it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Everything that is our mystery, because remember, mystery is my story. That's what it is, our story. Everything about mystery is absolutely destroyed, whether it
Yes.
was a war, whatever the case may
Yes.
be.
Yes.
But yet we leave Egypt to stand. We leave Egypt to stand.
Mm-hmm.
We have Egyptology. Why?
Yes. Those
It is
who
a part of the Bible. It is a part of the Anunnaki. It is a part of all of entire history, everywhere all over this planet.
Yes, yes. So those who possess the knowledge also possess the control. Think about that.
So, do you think that that is their history and home?
We don't know. It could,
I'm
for them,
saying.
their history could be wrong. Who's in charge of the earth? Who's the highest
That's
ranking human? Who's the highest ranking human that we know of today?
Are you saying human, or
Yeah.
are you asking like who is absolutely in charge of the earth? Because people would say Satan.
So Satan, a physical person or a spiritual, like a spirit, a ghost, a demon, or something like that, some type of cryptic. And
So we
how
would say that Satan is an angel, or some would say a deity because they serve him.
Yes, right along with the rest of them. Right along with the rest of them. Because, okay, so if Satan comes to my door and says, let me in, and I tell him to go F off, Satan has no power.
I mean, me and you know that, but
Yeah.
people will put the blame on Satan for a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Satan made me do it because it was in my head. Satan just won't let up on me. He gave me aches and pains in my body, and like
Right.
you know what I'm saying? That's how me and
Yeah.
you would look at that.
Right.
But we give let's just call a spade a spade. We give too much power to a thing, a deity, an angel, more than what we should. We already know that God has already told us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We possess this. How did we possess this? I gave you the breath of life. You are me. I am you. We are connected.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're not separated. He never separated from us. This is why he can't come to earth, because he ain't separated. It ain't separated from me.
Exactly. So I guess to answer your question is I guess the answer would be control. Because they possess all the knowledge.
That's still not answering the question though. Cause think about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm about to give y'all a little bit of history.
Okay.
Let's just talk about the Tower of Babel.
Okay.
Say we know that was supposed to be a safe haven, right? There has been plenty of Towers of Babel, and I'm gonna tell you why. Let's just go to the library that stood in every language of our entire history on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That is gone.
Yeah. Talking up.
The Alexander destroyed that.
Yeah.
The Romans destroyed that. You get what I'm saying? No reason. Just because, you know what I'm saying? Just because it was history.
Yeah.
Egypt is history. It's in the Bible. It's in books. It's history.
Yeah.
The library was history.
Mm-hmm.
But yet they got rid of it.
Yeah.
And Egypt still stands.
So you're saying, why did he do that? Why is Egypt still standing?
Everything else is underwater.
Yeah.
Destroyed in the Vatican. In what's the museum? In the museum. But yet Egypt still stands. Whether it's distorted, however it's distorted, it still stands.
Right.
According to the word says Satan does have certain amount of power. That's what we're supposed to be fighting against. Oh no, we know that we're fighting against we know that we ain't fighting flesh and blood. Yeah. We know that we fighting something of a greater power. I believe that. But I also believe that in a sense we fighting against ourselves, which would be my ego.
Yep, there it is. The ego. The ego. That's exactly what it is. Oh man. Okay. Okay. This is good. Oh, by the way, hi Kayla.
Oh,
So
and
yeah,
Brittany, hi, thank you for joining. Everybody who's joining. But yeah, like
who joined in?
there's a young lady named
Oh,
Brittany.
gotcha. Okay. I'll say, folks, hold on for a minute.
That is the war within. Okay, yeah. The
Okay.
ego is the war within. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. That's my question. We got Egyptology. That is the study of Egypt.
Yeah.
We got Egypt in the Bible. We got Egypt, and we could say Babylon is Egypt. We don't know.
Yeah,
You
well,
know
you know,
what I'm saying?
the Egyptians actually didn't build the Egypt and the pyramids either.
Yeah, I
They
know that.
you know, this is why the Sphinx is missing its face and everything. And those things are huge. Those things are huge because they're buried so much up the sand. They go further down.
We got pyramids and stuff all over this earth.
Which one in Pennsylvania?
I'm just saying we got a bunch of history.
Yeah.
We had a president that went into Iraq just to get history.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Egypt's still staying.
Yeah, I know.
Could it be a reminder of who we were?
And that would be
Could it be a slap in the face of who we were?
It could be. You know, we
Because that is a constant reminder of how high we were.
yeah. Yeah.
And the fact
that's
that we don't even recognize what it means.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even recognize what it means.
But it resonates to us. It resonates with us. Cause I would love to go to Egypt. I would love to go there. All places in the world, that's one place I would just want to go and put my foot down right there. It's Egypt.
And they say that the energy is still strong there, despite the stuff that's there.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of suffering there. A lot. None of it I want to be part of. I would love to go there. If I had a safe haven there, if I have safe haven, I'd be in Antarctica right now.
You'd be where?
In the Arctic. Yep.
You said in Antarctica?
Yeah.
Where it's nice and warm? That's what you said? Where it's nice and warm in Antarctica?
Yeah, let's go to Antarctica. Let's go. Screw that treaty. Let's do us. We got guns too. Let's go. We got guns, they shoot us, we shoot back. We got guns too. What's up?
Are you goofy? But going back to the beginning. All right. Let's start here because I got a little bit of information that I'm curious to see how people feel about it.
Okay.
In the beginning, God created man and woman. He created them, right? That's the first one, right?
Uh-huh.
In the beginning, God talked to Adam. Adam named all the animals. He realized that he was alone, right? That he was lonely and he needed a mate. And God put him to sleep and he made Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Was that one woman or two women? Was there one creation of a woman or two creations of women?
So you lost me. Okay, so
okay. All right, let's start with Genesis chapter 1.
Yeah.
On the 6th day, God created man and woman.
Right.
That is the 6th day.
Right.
Let's start with Genesis chapter 2.
Okay.
God created man, brought all the animals to man to name. Mm-hmm. Man realized that he was alone and needed a helpmate. Okay. God put man to sleep. Out of his rib, he created woman.
Okay.
Was there a creation of one woman or two? Y'all can answer. I know y'all watching.
I'm going to say one. If he took the rib out of man, which would be Adam, and created woman. But in the beginning, he also created man and woman. So that'll be two. That'd be the second woman. That'd be the second woman. That's what you're saying. Because in the beginning, he created. So why was he lonely if there's a woman there already?
I thought one, it was Eve. Say that again.
But what about Lilith?
No. Go back. What did you just say? Go back. No, for real. What did you just say?
Okay. So let me go back.
So go ahead.
Okay. So he in the beginning created man and woman, right? And then he brought animals to earth, and the man named the animals, so forth. But then man said, which is Adam. When you speak of man, you should speak of Adam only. Adam was lonely. So he put Adam to sleep, took the rib out of Adam, and created another woman. So that would be two women there and one guy. Right. Got it. I'm on the same level with you. I'm following you right now. So there's two women. So he already was with a woman, but he got lonely, and then God created another woman from his rib. So
here lies the thing of the Bible that we do not question. How in the world would Adam know that he was alone or needed somebody else if it never existed before?
So when
how would he know that he needed somebody if it never existed before? If she never existed before, why would he even know that he needed somebody else?
Okay, here's the loop again. All right, here's the loop. Again. Let me see if I can understand you. I already got the first thing. So now you're saying that before the woman was created from his rib, and he was already created with the woman, how would he develop that emotion of loneliness and sadness and the need of company if he was created with one?
No.
Oh, if he didn't experience before he was created. Because if he was created with that one, he would have no idea what loneliness is, let alone everything else, procreation, everything else, right? Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so I'm with you on that one. Okay, so they were born together. He did, and they both of them had no emotional feelings, no nothing. God just created them. They were just basically existing, both of them. And then suddenly, one of them developed emotions and feelings.
No.
They
probably both had emotions. We probably were born with that. Let's just be honest.
Okay.
We probably were born with that. But that one.
Well, if he were born with it, he would know. It would naturally.
Cool, got you. But this is the thing. I cannot know or experience anything that I've never had privy to it if I've never had the experience before. If I never, like for instance, I'm gonna give you the perfect example.
Okay.
I had no idea what pork tastes like, so therefore I have no craving for pork.
Okay, let's break it down a little deeper. The minute you came out of your womb, out of your mom's womb, you knew nothing of breathing, but yet you did it. You know to do it. You know to breathe, but you never breathed before you inside your mom's womb.
No, you're going too far. Too far.
They were born naturally. If God created them in their image, then whatever emotions that these gods created them, that God created them, put their emotions into them, into the DNA. You know, we have codes in DNA. You want to look at it on the scientific side.
No. No. A nine.
Yes.
A nine. Never had sex before. Does not have cravings for sex.
No. That's not right. Because you have daughters, right? I have daughters. And we know by the age of 5, well, we gotta watch them, right? They never know of that, but they're going for it.
I gotta bring you back. You gotta get where I'm coming from. Because you're too far. I got you, but you're too far.
Right.
You're too far. Let me bring you back.
Okay.
Okay, listen.
Mm-hmm.
Adam had already experienced partnership.
Yes, with the one he was created with.
Okay.
Right.
When she left, that's when he experienced loneliness.
Right.
That's the only way he could have known that he was alone.
Right. Okay. So
So that means that there were two creations of a woman
by God.
by whoever.
And these women, they had what are their names?
And there is historical proof that is the case. I say this because it you can look it up right now on the internet, and it will absolutely tell you that Adam is 140,000 years older than Eve.
Okay. Okay. So, where are the graves of Adam and Eve? Where are their bodies?
That's a question. You think they didn't pull that up and dig that up and get all that? Because how would they know that he was 140,000 years? Because according to the Bible, he was only 900 and something years old. But maybe they were counting the days after he left the garden.
And where's the garden?
Huh?
Where is the garden at?
Huh?
What was the garden? Well, that's not something we gotta get on the Garden of Eden.
No,
What was
you feel like the garden was something else. I feel like the garden is right here. And we just can't get to it. Where the
meaning?
land of milk and honey is.
Okay. Okay. Huh. But it's a good thought. But yeah, it's a good thought. So like you see, and it kind of correlates with the whole Inky and Lil and their creation with their sister and their mother and their father.
That's the whole point. We talking about the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, because it says at the beginning, no, God created man, but there were humans on Earth, and we know that for a fact that there's fossils showing and there's records showing that before they were called.
Scared of somebody. It wasn't his mother and his father.
So I guess we can close the record, right? In the end of the day, nobody on this planet knows nothing. It's all speculation.
Is it speculation, or is it that our history is just strictly destroyed and God is actually just bringing it back to our recollection in many different ways?
That's a fact. The fact is that yes, none of us knows our true history, and what we did know, what did exist, was destroyed, and most of it, a lot of it, was destroyed by modern man today, and probably still is being destroyed or housed by rich people around the world who put them in their private collections, or the Smithsonian has a lot of it, or stored away. The Vatican also has their hall of records, or their little private stashes that they keep as well, keep out of public. There's a lot of things out there that they don't want us to know. So it's it's one of those things, But
I feel like this is a good conversation. This is a start. That's why I started in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. There's plenty more to delve into.
Right, we
definitely got to get more serious, and we definitely need y'all to give us more things that y'all want to talk about. Because I definitely want to talk about DNA, for sure. Antarctica, for sure.
Yeah, I'm learning more and more about DNAs and codes as I'm going along this journey of mine and stuff, and it just blows my mind. And keep in mind that the information that I find, if I don't go out and experience it myself, a lot of places, like a lot of things I learn, I try to see if I can go there or touch it with my bare hands and see for my own self, and I won't get too deep into it. Just basically go off.
I definitely would love to go see Devil's Tower.
The Devil's Tower? Oh, I've been there. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I'm a truck driver.
Yeah.
I'm always admired that place out there. It's very beautiful up there and stuff. But yeah,
How's the energy there?
Huh?
How's the energy there?
Wow, I was chasing chicks back in those days. I was a truck driver. My mom was gone. You know, my mom was gone. It was in and out. Now my kids were here this weekend, throwing my birthday party, my gender reveal type party stuff, and we all sat down and had a conversation about spirituality and family history, and just my family history and spirituality and stuff. And then I told them a lot of things that they didn't know and everything. It was very interesting. A lot of personal experience. That's what brought me to this point today, who I am today. There's a lot of personal experiences that made me question, instead of buckle down in fear and run away. It's made me question everything. And that's what it is at the end of the day. I don't think it's about finding out the truth. I think we are seeking the question, not the answer. That's what I think we're doing. At least for me.
The question? Oh.
I'm seeking the
question of what? Why?
Haven't even thought about it yet. Haven't even thought of that.
But you don't even know what the question is.
Huh? Yes.
You don't know what the question.
Nope. And we seek that question because in that conquest of asking questions.
And I think that is, I told you my stuff in this. Yeah. But I think that is the question. Who am I? Where did I come from?
Okay. Yeah.
I think that there is a record of it all for us to have some type of understanding.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. When I get to the other side one day, I'm going to try to reach back out to you, like, hey.
Don't come to me. No.
I'm over here. Guess what? Me and I start hanging out with you. They get Jesus back at the bar. He be down here in a minute.
Right? If you back on, we came up with there was two women. It wasn't just Eve. Adam was 140,000 years older than Eve. He had another mate prior to him, and maybe we'll talk about her at another time because this is getting lengthy. It was really good. We got to go back some more into the beginning because I really want to talk about Cain and Abel and all those good things, because basically all those stories are just telling our brothers rivalry. And if you go into the Sumerian text, you'll see where the brotherly rivalry came from. So.
I got a food for thought for you real quick. What if everything we know about the religion, the Bible, let's just stick with our religion, the Christian Bible, King James Version. Everything we know about the Bible was nothing more than a 200,000-year-old movie strip. Here's my thought on that, right? Here's my thought on that, right? Y'all listen to me? I'm gonna say it again. What am I saying? Listen. Now I want everybody listen to me carefully. What if everything we read in the Bible and know about the history of religion was nothing more than a 200,000-year-old movie strip that we discovered? Hear me out. Let's say the state of Florida, right? We all know the state of Florida. It's surrounded by oceans, right? Let's say we have a global warming, ice cap melts, and Florida gets sunk under the ocean, right? As a whole, people ran out there, but left the cars, the buildings, everything, the appliances, everything, all their personal belongings and effects, all the business, the banks, everything was left there, but it sunk under the ocean for 200,000 years. 200,000 years later, those humans do a dig because the waters receded, and Florida came back up. And now we, 200,000 years later, go digging around the land of Florida, and we run across a museum. And we dig around, we find a foundation for buildings. We find it because cars and papers and pencils were eroded over 200,000 years to nothing. They're all dissolved. The oils, the gas, everything was dissolved. There's some elements of metals and rocks that will stick around, like all the stuff in the museum that came from Egypt and around the world will still be there 200,000 years later. So now those humans are going down there going, oh man, we found this, and maybe the Egyptians were here in this land, right? Now we're in New Egypt in Florida. right? Now, here's the kicker. What if they find an old comic book that survived 200,000 years? Barely, but it survived. And they start getting characters and lines and bits and pieces out of this one comic book. But then they find another one and another one. Now, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman are now gods that they are worshiping. But they think that back in this time, Superman was really our hero. He was Jesus. So what if the Bible is nothing more than a 200,000-year-old comic book that we discovered and rewrote it, and now we're praying to it? I'm just saying. Food for
I
thought.
don't know, because you know what? This is why I can't agree with that. Because the Bible has somewhat of a supernatural power. The
And you
belief.
think that wouldn't?
No.
You think that what gives the Bible its supernatural power? We do.
I mean,
We give the Bible the power. We don't. You don't walk into a store, pick up a Bible. Oh, it has power. No, we give it the power. We're the manifestors. That inanimate object is not a manifester. We manifest that inanimate object. So 200,000 years from now, nobody would never heard of Superman and the Super Friends and the Justice League. But they find a comic book, an eroded comic book, and they dug it up in their dig and restored it to a point where they get bits and pieces out. That would be our gods, and they will pray to the God. This is how
and
it
why
works.
can't we agree with that, Ray?
Yeah,
Can you
please.
give me an answer why we can't agree with that? We really want to answer if you're still there.
Give him time. He's probably typing. Give him time.
I'm kind of just like her. Like
I'm just saying.
saying. Oh,
What's
she
that?
said, "Okay, I see what you're saying." Okay.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So you just got, if you really think about it, it's no disrespect to the Bible or religion, but you gotta put it into a certain perspective. I read comic books. We have all this stuff, and if you put it in perspective, there. Now, if you go to Egypt, as I just said, you go to Egypt, right? You have water erosions, you have sand, you have the Sphinx. What you see of the Sphinx is part of the Sphinx. If you dig down about a quarter mile, about a half mile, 2,500 feet, it's a whole structure down there. How do you think that happened? It was all underwater at one time. And due to the currents of that water, it just started covering everything. Then the waters receded. And here we have Egypt. Now, what if Egypt was something else? And we go there digging up all these sarcophaguses and graves and trinkets and stuff. And we're reading this and go, hey, this tablet says God created heaven and earth. Wait a minute, this tablet said that the Anunnakis did this. What was just movie strips for those people? Like I'm saying that during those times, they were modern people. 200,000. Count the numbers. 200,000
Do you really believe that though?
It's
possible, but do you believe that?
Is it not possible? If you knew nothing of my time now, and I went 200,000 into the future on a time machine and hand you a comic book with Superman in it, how he came from Krypton, crashed here, the humans took care of him, sent him to school with the humans because he's technically an alien, right? And then he flew around the world saving people's lives. That's Jesus.
I'm not because this is totally possible.
This is why we create the show, folks.
You got the questions up off the head. Talk about something. You so right.
This is why we create the show. We having fun, just throwing it out there. You know, what if? I hope you guys are laughing at this more like this. You know, but you know, this is my world. This is how I think about certain things, how I break it down, and try to put some sense to this, because we all know that our history, religion, and our culture, everything is not really.
I don't believe it. She said, "No, I don't believe it, but I see what he's trying to say. He thinks it's just created." Okay.
You know, it's all created because I have questions. It's the question.
All do.
Right.
We all do.
Right.
And the thing about it is that to be quite honest, the answers are absolutely here. They
Yeah,
are everywhere. The
yeah,
possibilities is endless. That rabbit hole run really deep. I tell people all the
exactly.
time, oh, you can go
Exactly.
down there. Don't get stuck there. Don't
Yep.
get stuck
I
there.
claim not to know everything, anything. What's in here, just put out. From wrong, give it to me. That's how I feel. Give it to me. I always believe that when people come to the table, the platform, and we all have a discussion, I believe that each and every last one of us walk away with more than what we came to the table with. There are never no losers in a discussion like this. There's always winners. Because I can come to the platform and say something. You can say no, this. Then they say no, that. And then I walk away from the table a lot more than what I came with. This is what I'm seeking: knowledge and wisdom from all my brothers and my sisters that are on this earth. Okay, what color your skin is, you got knowledge you want to share with me, bring it. I want it. And what I have, I'm giving it. That's, I believe, my purpose is to spread that knowledge and that wisdom without upsetting. Because when our time comes, and our time will come where we have to remanifest into whatever it is that we're going to be remanifesting into, I believe that we all will always will be connected. We'll always be family and brothers and sisters. Every single person is listening. People you don't know, we all are connected, and we all have our role. And as we are experiencing our experience during this path, we're meeting new people, we're having new conversations, we're learning more. And that's what it's all about for me, and that's what makes me feel great about these kind of conversations. I never walk away mad or offended.
Even in your script, it say, due to the lack of knowledge,
My
my
children will
people will
perish.
perish.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that absolutely means, or to me, it means that there is no use for you if you're not always learning.
exactly,
There's no need for you to exist.
exactly.
So we're gonna end it on that note.
Yeah, we way over.
Hopefully, we will see you guys sooner than later because we
Um,
tend to say what we gonna do, and we
right.
wait a little bit too long. But
You
this
know,
was
I've been
quite
gone for a minute.
enjoyable.
Now I got on a ship with Elon Musk the other week, and we had to go to Mars and do some stuff. But I'm back. Got my shirt.
However, again, we want to say happy solar return to Enlil. He's
Yeah.
having a new soul joining the
Him,
planet Earth.
him.
Yeah. The planet
Find out,
Earth.
man.
He's definitely doing God's work and
Yes.
being fruitful and multiplying.
So,
All right, we're gonna let
so,
you guys go.
so
Thank you for joining us. This was very, very, and we like the feedback. We really want more and more and more of this. So hopefully we'll be able to do this more frequently.
yeah,
How would you like to end it, Enlo? You got to end it on a high note.
that's right. Love
You got to
everybody.
end it on a high note.
I love everybody. That's what I can do. I can spread the love. Much energy, much love to everybody.
Okay.
All right.
Good night.